Hello and welcome, I'm Chris and this is the Hair Tutorial channel, and on this week's video I'm going to show you how to do a multi-dimensional balayage. This is so quick, so simple, it is going to be your go-to balayage because you are going to get perfect results every time. A beautiful root, a seamless blend and beautiful dimensional colour. So if you want weekly videos, tips and tricks, why not like, subscribe and hit the notification button for more videos. Let's get straight to it. Okay, so to start off, I've gone through and I've applied just to my back section my base colour for about 2.5 inches there, just on the root. I'm using a semi, demi, quasi, whatever you want to call it, colour, not a permanent, so this will just nice and gradually fade off and we're not going to get any solid lines, and if we want to change it slightly we'll be able to do that. And I'll apply this base colour to each sort of section as I go through, rather than just applying it all globally first. So we're going to start at the back and we're going to start in sort of the nape of the neck, and we're just going to break this section down. So I'm just going through the occipital bone and I'm going to take the section above that up and I'm going to put it out of the way. Okay, so now my first section is going to be back diagonal along this hairline for about 1/2 inch along the hairline, and I'm simply going to weave out some of this. Okay, so this section here I'm going to leave as a natural sort of break. Now, if you did have sort of dark coloured hair on that ends, you could use a lower developer, say 3% on that, just to lift it up to sort of more of a caramel. Or let's say that actually they've got a natural root and their hair is blonde. Well, again, I would be colouring that piece with my global base colour to colour some dimension through blonde hair. So this technique really does sort of have a lot of different applications to it, but I'm simply on this occasion going to leave that as a natural break. So then I'm going to take this next section and I'm going to very slightly tease that down. Okay, I'm not going to go crazy on it. Okay, and now I'm going to put in my board with my foil, and then I'm just going to use my semi-demi and I'm just going to touch over that back combing, because if I leave that, obviously we could end up with some sort of splotching, which I don't sort of want, and I'm just going to make sure it's thoroughly saturated and just drag it down a little bit. Now, if you wanted to do this technique on natural hair, and leave their natural root without doing the global, then what you could do here, instead of using a global colour, is you could use just conditioner, and that's just going to give you something and give you a bit of a sort of a break, because now we're going to go and we're going to put in our lightener on these ends. I hope you can see this okay. I don't often do a permanent colour when I'm doing this. I just find it blends together better. Okay, and then I'm going to take a clean brush and just on my line, okay, I'm just going to smudge that line with a clean brush. And then I'm going to half fold my foil up and just turn the corner over. Okay, then we're going to do another back diagonal, about on 1/2 inch section. Again, we're going to weave, quite a thick weave. We want the blonde to stand out a little bit more than this sort of natural contrast. Just a couple of strokes of back combing in there. In with our board. Again, you can do this without a board, you can do it freehand. I just find it a little bit easier. Okay, just make sure that's really saturated. You've got all that back comb in. So if you coloured those pieces in between the same colour as the global colour, you'd sort of end up with more of an ombre effect than a balayage effect. So by slightly having them as a different colour, or a slightly lighter sort of colour if you use sort of 3%. Okay, so now we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so now we've got two back diagonal sections in on either side, and now we're going to come into the middle and we're going to do a horizontal one. And the reason is, obviously, if we keep going diagonally, we're going to end up with a piece down the middle that's going to look a bit disconnected and a bit darker. So we're going to do two either side, one in the middle, two either side, one in the middle, and we're just going to keep doing that and work our way right up to the crown. Okay, so now we're on to the front, and it's very simple. Once again, I've just done my middle parting, and I've taken my two sections here and I've applied my 2-inch global colour to the root. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you sort of work all the way through that section and then move to that section, or whether you do one here, one there, and it really doesn't matter. That's just personal choice. So I'm just going to take a back diagonal section, again about 1/2 inch on that section. Again, just a nice deep weave on this, just so we have a little bit of natural breaking that up. Once again, our back comb, in with our board, on with our lightener, and then of course, and then as before, just use a clean brush just to break that line up a little bit. Again, you could place another foil on top. I'm just folding it back on itself like that. Again, you can fold it again because that foil is clean, so it's not going to interfere. Depends how much your client gets up and walks about. Okay, and again, another back diagonal section, and you just work your way through and complete the whole top section. So I'll just do one more, and the reason that I like this, say, over doing something like a set of highlights and then doing a root stretch, root drag, whatever you want to call it, is obviously I'm using a semi here, so when this semi fades off, they're going to have more of their natural colour for a start, and also it will have that bit of regrowth. Whereas if you do a set of highlights and then do a root tap, root drag, whatever you want to call it, obviously when that then fades off, you have got more of a highlighted effect, which it can be great. But I just personally feel this sort of gives you more of the balayage effect to the hair than, say, doing a set of highlights. But there are instances, of course, and it's like anything, it depends on time, it depends on the client, the picture that they've showed you. And this is why this is such a popular sort of technique, because there is so many sort of variations to it, and as long as you end up with what the client wants and they're happy, then really and ultimately that's all that matters. Okay, so I'm obviously going to carry on through this section and then this section, then do the other side, then I'll show you the result, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I bet you didn't think I'd be back so quick, but I suddenly thought I'd better just show you. So I've worked the way through that, and again, I've just come back to that front. So I just wanted to show you the front, just in case for anybody that wanted to see this front section done. I know I've been showing you, but I thought, you know, why not? And you can always skip this if you don't want to. I know a lot of people sort of do skip about on the video, which is cool. Okay, so again, just break my section down. All right, do my tease. in with the board. Okay, so exactly what we have been doing, but I just thought, again, I just wanted to show you that front one, just for anybody that just wanted to see it. And like I said, what I will do now is just finish up on both sides. Again, when I'm folding this foil, you could lay one on top, but I am being careful not to obviously fold the bleach onto any of the dark. Yeah, just fold the bleach back on itself, and then when I've got a clean foil, then I'm folding it back, okay, and putting it away. Okay, so I'll finish the head and then I'll show you the finished result. So here's the full head done, and now I've just got to visually process this. Anything up to an hour. I can rinse the back out beforehand if I need to, because obviously I started at the back, and then I'm going to show you the finished result. Okay, and here's our finished result. As you can see, a beautiful dark root blending into that natural colour, and then those highlights of those blondes all seamlessly blending together. And as this fades off, obviously her natural hair will remain, and you'll still have that blonde in there. So if you wanted to go a different colour on the root the next time, you'd easily be able to do that, because we used our demi, our semi, our quasi. Such an easy technique. It can be used on so many different clients in so many different applications, and it absolutely is a stunning result.